Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Charles asked me to join the panel a few months ago. So I started thinking of what I would say. Kind of thought about it all that time. Kind of got everything together what I was going to say, and I got up today and like none of that stuff.
All right.
So listening to Jen today made me think that maybe I should tell a little bit more about our family life. So he mentioned about sisters and the nephew. So our family order was older sister Carolyn, then it was Jen, and then it was my sister Jeanette, and the nephew, cousin that he spoke about was Albert, and then it was me. So I was 2 years old when Jen graduated from high school. So I didn't really, we didn't really grow up together in the household. He was basically, after a few years, he was gone out of the house. So I could only, like when he'd come back, I'd see him and just listen to the stories. Our older siblings would tell about them growing up. So with Luke Tripp talking about education, I thought maybe I'd say these things. When our family first came here, they moved to Charlevoix. That was in the early 40s. There was the riot that occurred in Detroit, and during that time, my dad said he had 3 young children and he should never have been drafted, but they drafted all the black males to the army that were out of Detroit. The war ended before he could actually get deployed, but that might have been a good thing for him because he got access to the GI Bill. And because he got access to the GI Bill, he was able to buy a home in Southwest Detroit. So that kind of changed our dynamics. The family was able to move there. In Southwest Detroit, it was still a very mixed neighborhood, and Jen went to Boynton for elementary school, and one of the things I remember about the stories that they would tell is that one day my mom got a call, and she had to come to the school because Jen had broken the swing. And she goes to the school, and the gym teacher says, well, yeah, he broke the swing. Well, what swing did he break? She goes out to the schoolyard, and it's a metal swing. He's like, he didn't break the swing. I'm not paying for the swing. So they were trying to make her pay for the swing that he had broken. That was one incident, and I think that kind of showed my mom's strength to him, that, you're not just going to tell me anything, and this was this. There were no black teachers. Then Jim moved on to Southwestern High School. In Southwestern High School, I found out during, again, the conversations that cross-district busing was okay in Detroit. Some of the students that attended Southwestern were bused from the downriver suburbs into that school. So I'm going to kind of jump forward. That's why it kind of like with Pontiac issue and the cross-district busing, like, what are you talking about? It's okay, depending on who's being bused where. So that occurred. But he spoke about his track for education there. Now, again, this school, Southwestern at that time, was mixed. There were quite a few black people that attended, but there were still quite a few Caucasian people that attended there too. Now, my sister Carolyn, that was the oldest one, graduated a couple years before Jim, but she was school valedictorian. So that let us know that even though there might be some obstacles in the way, that we're not dumb. we can make it. And I'm sure that Jen, watched her succeed through school, and he understood that as well, even though he was on this track for shop. Right. So those kind of things kind of stuck out for me in this conversation. So next, I'm going to move forward to something that we haven't talked about too. And so Jen went on to college, and he ended up going to Cuba. And as a result of that trip to Cuba, our family mechanism, or as we function, sort of changed. My mom would get visited by the FBI. Well, my dad was always at work, so it would be my mom that was at home. The FBI would often come to our house to, and question her. I'm not sure, like I said, I was very young. I'm not sure if that was with the Cuba trip, or if it was a little bit later with the other things that were going on with the booing of the anthem and drum. But we would often get visits from the FBI to our home. My mom would, really get upset, and they'd tell her all these things. And, you think he's in charge? He's not in charge. He just goes along. He's a patsy. Everybody's telling him what to do, and he's just following. And so she what are they talking about? She had no idea, because he really didn't talk to her about all the things that were going on. But my older sister Carolyn, she was a teacher by then, and she worked close by. And they would often come, I don't know why, it would be lunchtime, but they would come for her. And so one particular time, I was home for lunch, and the FBI, they came to our home, and Carolyn came home during that lunch hour. And I really don't know what was said, but after that point in time, those FBI agents never came in our house anymore, and they never came to our house anymore. But then what happened is that they started to question the neighbors. So our next door neighbor had a mirror in the kitchen. And so, in that time, people visited. Mom went next door, and she goes over. She said, "You got this mirror in your kitchen on your cabinet." And they were saying, so my mom looks at her and said, "You can't see anything but what anybody does come to my front door. That's the only thing that reflects." So, that let us know, how, what the neighbors were doing, and, how they had been questioned. And that continued, and we knew that our phones were tapped. You hear all this click when you're trying to talk. So those kind of things went on in our household. And Jim kind of stayed away. He didn't come around a lot, but he never missed any events. Like we had family holiday dinners, he was always there. So it was always so exciting for me at least, when he came back, because he was gone for so long. So that made our relationship sort of special. He would also, because he wasn't there much, he would send us books. Me and my younger, my cousin, we were the two youngest. He would send us different books. Every now and then there'd be a big Hudson's truck coming up, and it'd be so exciting. Like, oh, okay, here's a delivery. And it would be books like, he gave us the autobiography of Frederick Douglass, books about American Indians, and just different books on historical perspectives that he knew we wouldn't get in school. So those are my kind of memories about Jim. Although there is something that, if I have time a little later, I'd like to read, that he wrote at one of our family reunions.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, John.